Hey guys, welcome to today's math lesson. Lesson 21 is what we're going to be focusing on. So just like normal, you can find this sheet in your math booklet that should be in your binder. So today's lesson is about divisibility. And what being divisible means is that the number in question can actually be divided up into equal parts, meaning no remainder. Okay, so that means if it is divisible by 2, then 2 can divide it up into equal parts without a remainder. If it's divisible by 3, then 3 can divide it up into equal parts with no remainder. So being divisible means that a number can be divided up into equal parts. Okay, so for example, 56. Okay, 56 is just a normal number, and it is divisible by 2. Okay, and we know this because if we divided 56 by 2, and we get 28. So 28 does not have a remainder. Okay, so that's how we know that it is divisible by 2. Now, luckily for us, there are some shortcuts that we can use to help us rather than having to divide it out each time. There are 5 shortcuts. So the first 3 shortcuts are right here in your box. Okay, so 2, meaning it's divisible by 2, if the last digit is even. Okay, so let me say that again. It is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. So when we said 56 is divisible by 2, the last digit of 56 is 6, and 6 is an even number. Okay, so we didn't even need to do all of that. We could have just used that shortcut. Okay, the next one is it is divisible by 5 if the last digit is a 0 or a 5. Okay, it is divisible by 5 if the last digit is 0 or 5, meaning it can be divided up by 5 into equal parts without a remainder if that number ends with 0 or 5. Okay, the third shortcut is it is divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. Okay, it's divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. Now, the other 2 shortcuts is a little bit different. So this is dealing with 3 and 9. Okay, so the first 3 shortcuts were just based on the last digit. That's why they call it last digit test. Now, these deals with the sum of digits. Okay, so you would have to add up the digits rather than just looking at the last digit itself. So it is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. Okay, so we'll look at that here in just 1 second. It's divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. Okay, so I want to look at just a few examples with you. So right here, I had put just 3 random numbers that I just made up from the top of my head. So we're going to do the sum of digits test for 3. So I want to ask myself, is 365 divisible by 3? So the way I would do that with my shortcut is I would take 3 plus 6 plus 5. Okay, and when I do that, I get 14. Now 14 I know is not divisible by 3 because it cannot be divided up by 3 without a remainder. Okay, now the next number I have 1,179, and again I want to see if it's divisible by 3. So I'm going to add up the 1 plus 1 plus 7 plus 9, and when I do that I get 18. Now I know that 3 can go into 18 without a remainder, okay? And that would be, of course, 6 times. So this one, I put a giant check mark because that means that it is divisible by 3. Okay? The last number, I have 1,556. So I added 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6, and I got 17. 17 is not divisible by 3 because 3 cannot go into it. So 1,556 is not divisible by 3. Okay, and hopefully that's an easy shortcut for you. The next sum of digits shortcut is with the number 9. So I can do the same type thing to figure out if a number is divisible by 9 or not. So I'm going to do the same thing I did up here. So I'm going to add 5 plus 6 plus 7, and I get 18. Okay, so 18 is divisible by 9 because it can be divided up by 9 without a remainder. So I put a check mark beside of that. Then this next number, I did 2 plus 1 plus 4, and I get 7. 7 is definitely not divisible by 9 because 9 won't even go into 7 one time. The last number, 3 plus 6 plus 2, and I get 11. 11 is also not divisible by 9. Okay, so the only number that I got out of those examples was this first one, 567. And again, like always, I will post a picture of these notes for you so you can take your time at looking at them. But going back to these few examples, so let's do these together. So number 1, which of these numbers is divisible by 2? So I'm going to look at just the last digit, because remember, I'm going to use this shortcut right here. So if the last digit is even, then it is divisible by 2. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at that 2, the 1, and the 3. So the only one that has an even last digit is A, because 2 is even. Okay, so A is my answer on that one. Number 2, which of these numbers is divisible by 5? So I'm going to use this second shortcut test right here. So if it ends with 0 or 5, it's divisible by 5. So I'm going to look at the last digit again. So I have a 9, I have a 5, and I have a 2. So the only one that's divisible by 5 is letter B, because it ends with 5. Number 3, which of these numbers is divisible by 3? So this is where I'm going to use my shortcut number 4, and I'm going to add up each of these digits to see if my sum is divisible by 3. So I'm going to do 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, because that's the numbers that I have right here in letter A. And when I do that, I get 18. Okay, so far 18 is divisible by 3 because 18 can be divided by 3 without a remainder. I'm going to do the next one. 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8. And on that, I get 26. And unfortunately, 26 will not or cannot be divided by 3 without a remainder. So this one is not divisible by 3. So then I'm going to do this last one here. 9 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4. And I get 16. 16 can also not be divided by 3 without a remainder. So my answer is A. Okay, and then my last example here, which of these numbers is divisible by 9? So again, I'm going to do the sum of digit test, this last little shortcut here. So I'm going to add 6 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4. And I get 22. 22 cannot be divided by 9. So I know that can't be my answer. Now move on to the next one. 8 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4. And I get 15. 15 can also not be divided by 9. So I know that's not my answer. So it has to be this last one. So 7 plus 9 plus 3 plus 8. and I get 27. So 27 can be divided by 9. So that is my final answer, which is C. And that's it for divisibility. So enjoy using these 5 really cool shortcuts, and just let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I will try my best to get back with you as soon as I can. Have a great day, guys.